Hey everybody, welcome to Technically Unraveled. I'm Kristen Fehrenbach, your host. Super excited to be here today. I am the Senior Director of Microsoft Go-to-Market here at Pax8. As always, I want to go ahead and start out with some updates because we've got a couple of them. You probably got spammed if you're on LinkedIn with everything that was happening at Pax8 Beyond. Incredible, incredible event. Such a good time. Want to make sure I do call out that I want you to go to our YouTube page, and there's a day 1 and a day 2 recap with myself and David Powell. A lot of information these couple of days and where Pax8's going. You hear from some of, I'm going to get it today, guys. You're going to hear from our senior leadership. They are incredible. Some really, really great keynotes. Make sure you go check those out. Make sure you're on the lookout for Beyond 2024 because you don't want to miss it next year either. All right, boot camps. We wrapped up Beyond. We're moving right into a modern workplace boot camp. Make sure that you are signed up. Dedicate that time if you are able to, July 25th and 26th. Now in August, there's AWS. I got to call it out for that team because they got a boot camp coming up, as well as Dynamics in August. Azure, you can expect that to come up in September. Now, we did skip our Microsoft monthly webinar in June. But in July, we're going to be back doing those every single month as you've gotten used to. So make sure that you go sign up for that. Want to make sure that you have all of that information. I know that you'll hear from a lot of us on our Microsoft team just on programmatic updates. What could you expect in the future? Any of that good stuff. Now, Academy content. First off, I want to give a big shout out to this Academy team because my goodness, did they deliver at Beyond. There was so much good content from them, but they're still putting out more content for you on demand. There's 2 new Microsoft courses. Want to make sure we call these out because you've got Azure for Nonprofit. You've got a Dynamics sales course. And I feel like Matt Batterby jumped in this chat just to make sure I was going to talk about it. So Matt, they are going to go and we're going to sign up for Microsoft Dynamics through Academy. You should be expecting a version 2 or a second one to our Azure Nonprofit. So make sure you're on the lookout for that as well. Now, probably have heard a little bit about GDAP. There's a lot going on with it. Now, Microsoft is leading that transition over. But us as Pax8, we are working directly with them to make sure it is as smooth as possible. If you have any questions, just reach out to your account team. We'll make sure that you get all the info that you need. All right. I shared a video to our Pax8 Studios team, and I knew this was going to come back around, but there's no better way because you always have those friends you love to embarrass. You might pick them up, see what you can do to embarrass them in front of crowds of people. Cool. This is what we did to Miss Lyndsey Hoffman. Oh, how I wish the video would have had the other friend Amanda standing out of the top of the sunroof banging for Lyndsey to get into the car. Thanks for joining us, Lyndsey.
Not also the attendant as I'm running to y'all going, who the hell are these psychos in hot dog outfits midday playing Christmas music in July?
Yeah. Everybody likes Christmas music all the time. I was very excited about it. I didn't put it on until we were there because, the relish was worrying my view.
Legit. I'm like, fun fact about Kristen Fehrenbach is that she will play that song all year round, 365 days a year, y'all.
I will. I sure will. All right, Lyndsey, you've been at Pax8 a long time. You were in a role. You've moved to a new role. Tell us a little bit about where you came from and what you're doing now.
Yeah, for sure. So thanks for having me. My name is Lyndsey Hoffman. I'm the Vice President of Social Impact here at Pax8. Really excited to be on Technically Unraveled. I feel like it's a little bit of my legacy coming home. So I originally came to Pax8 in March of 2020. A lot of people in our Pax8 community and the entire partner ecosystem know my legacy of working in Microsoft programs and helping build out that relationship with you, Kristen, and the team. And then moving into the social impact and developing this department has been really almost a year to date since I transitioned out. So it's kind of a nice little annual touch base for us to be able to reconnect and talk about all these amazing initiatives and how they're
It
interconnected in all parts of our
is.
business.
Man, we've made the transition from Microsoft Direct to Microsoft Team at Pax8, and I'm super lucky to still get to work with you in your new role. You've got a lot of cool stuff going on, and I am super up to date in it because I'm like, what else can I do to keep making sure I'm involved? Because I
Yeah.
get a little FOMO, so I
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
admit that. So tell us, about what is an ERG? Why is it important? Why are we doing it here at Pax8?
Yeah, 100%. And maybe even I'll peel back a little bit for those that haven't been a part of the entire social impact journey of just where we kind of came from and this idea of bringing social impact to Pax8 and really standardizing a couple of things. So we have multi-pillars in the way that we run social impact here at Pax8, one of those being inclusive workplace and ensuring that every single Pax8er, our communities, and our entire ecosystem has this foundation of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. And really a heavy focus on that belonging aspect that drives the synergy of the DEI foundation. And then secondarily, the other pillar is corporate social responsibility, which is, all of our corporate things that we're doing in the communities. That's our corporate giving program. That's how we're empowering Pax8ers around the world to get involved and do great things and make an impact in their own local communities and to touch, into the partner ecosystem and vendor ecosystem as well. So ERGs, if you don't know, which acronym, another fun one to add to your book, employee resource groups. We relaunched and renovated our entire inclusive workplace strategy and the foundation of these programs over the last year. And so we relaunched in April 18th of this year, 6 new employee resource groups, really focusing on finding this foundation for all Pax8ers to have a community, a place of belonging, but to also be able to have voices of Pax8ers. They're employee-led groups, organic. You opt in to be a part of these groups, and there's 6 of them, which we can jump into where me and you, Kristen, get to play some roles in our ability group.
Yes.
So ability is one of those, which is for both visible and non-visible disabilities, differently abled, right? So myself, openly and vulnerably, ADHD, neurodivergent, also have a neurodivergent child.
What?
Wild that that we both live in that land. And then also we have our care group, which is focused around parents and caregivers. We have our Hue group, which is all about people of color. Power PWR, which is our Pax8 Women resource group, empowering women. Also, we have the Pride group for LGBTQIA and that community, and then VetNet as well for our veterans and active duty military. And so, again, really finding that fabric of what makes us
Sure.
us, because our work is, John Street says this all the time, business is personal and personal is business. Those two things go interlocked together, right? A little fam fun. And so how do we at Pax8 give that voice and that empowerment back to our people to be able to not only have a community, to be able to talk about, challenges that are unique to what individually makes our fabric of our being, but also to help innovate and to challenge new business process and to be able to see through the eyes and the experience of these employees that identify in these different kinds of ways. So ability for us, like, right, you and me are executive
Yes.
sponsors of this group. What are some of the things, like, I think top of mind, like we're talking about accessibility for all, like in the way that we build our platform and the way that we host trainings and being able to advocate all of those amazing things and to ripple change in our business through the ERGs and being, again, a strategic voice to be able to fight for initiatives and to leverage this collective voice for change and for
I
true
couldn't
impact
agree more.
globally.
I think it's super important because one, I feel like ADHD might run rampant through Pax8 every once in a while. It definitely is in this call right here.
Yeah.
I think another thing, a lot of the people in our group, they struggle with dyslexia. Now,
Yeah.
I'm one of those. And
Yep.
there's a lot of things, especially as a new people manager. And this is something that was super important to me and why I, nominated myself to be one of the executive sponsors is because you manage people differently based on where they're at, what they need, what their abilities are. You don't
Yep.
have to see something for it to be a disability, right? So
Yep.
this was something I was super passionate about because people learn differently. They need different tools. And so I was so excited to one, obviously this one spoke to me personally, but I felt like there was such a good option for so many different people to get involved no matter where they sat. So that was the
Yep.
power for it behind that. I was like, I've got to be involved here.
Yeah. No, and I'm right there with you. I think it's fascinating. Like I had a moment yesterday with a Pax8er mom that came to me at the Ability Group and said, "Hey, my child was just diagnosed with ADHD. Like I have a neurodivergent child, and we just got diagnosed, and I really don't know what I'm doing. Do you think I could just talk to the group about like resources and like hacks for the way that y'all live your life? Because I think about the Ability Group, and there's, I think just openly conversation. There's a lot of us that were diagnosed in our adulthood, not as children, right? A lot of millennial groups in there that it was like woo woo to talk about, differently abled, especially those
Yeah,
that are
you just
invisible.
shh and
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah. 100%. So it's like, how do we also just impact and give and take away that stress of like, again, business is personal. We spend this amount of time with each other in this community of, amazing Pax8ers. How do we just put a hand out and share, resources and perspective and just have, again, a community to be able to incubate and support those that may not have access to the same privilege of knowledge that the rest of us have.
So we're falling into these roles. I mean, this is all fairly new. We're only a couple months into it, and we're falling into these executive sponsor roles. But Lyndsey, for you, when you think of an executive, what does that mean as being part of one of these ERGs?
That's a great question. I think that for myself, because it's in my wheelhouse, it's a part of my daily job, and not all Pax8ers that are in these ERG roles, it's not their day job. They're volunteering extra time to do this and taking time away from their normal role to do that. I think not only is it the ability to be a voice and to be able to open doors where others may not have that same privilege in their role today, to know or to have another executive to say, hey, this is something important. How do we synergize it to a business purpose? How do we build it into strategy or long-term things? And then also, how do we just, again, be an echo, to be that pillar, to be able to show others it's okay to unmask and live authentically 1000% as ourselves, and that we have a safe space here to do that, and we have a community of support that's going to allow you and support you to go through that. So I look at it in two places for myself personally: is driving business impact and connecting those with maybe don't know who to connect with or how to connect it. And then secondarily, it's be a voice. I think we're pretty loud, the two of us, and weird. In lots of
Weird.
ways. It's not just Christmas songs and hot dog outfits, y'all.
It's
Also
year
fighting
round,
for
people.
change. Yep. Yep. Yep.
No,
So,
I super agree because I think it's when it comes down to it, how are we unblocking? How are we showing, this to everybody? Because I think it takes a little bit of time to get some momentum. So, for instance, I know in abilities, right? We were really focused on mental health. And at Pax8, we get a mental health day. And so, kind of gamifying it and saying, how do we get our employees involved? We want them to have fun with it. One, we want them to take their time, make sure that they're good themselves. But how do we gamify it and make sure that it kind of has that little touch to it? So, I mean, we have a contest going where they can go in, they post on LinkedIn, they tag Pax8 Ability, and they can win a prize at the end of it because I want everybody to know how important their mental health is. So it's cool to see what they're doing across all the other AirGs. Lyndsey, what else are they doing? And maybe another one that is really picking up in traction.
I think what's really cool is like the ERGs are supporting cross laterally. So finding like shared things. So, the care group with our ability group, how do they find connected with focusing on children of neurodivergence? And how do we support them in different types of either nonprofit led community work or education, even? So being able to build allyship and understanding and education to just have better understanding to support these different diverse types of groups. And like you said, from being a people leader, it's building skill base behind that. I think is something that's really, really special. And we're going to see impact from that, again, not just internally for our business and for our people, but I think just echoing and rippling out to our community of partners, to our vendors. And I think we're starting to see a lot of that, with some of the space that we hosted at Beyond.
Yep. Could not agree more. I know that right now it's kind of internal. We're getting our employees involved. We're seeing what that is. Is there going to be a chance in the future to roll this out to partners?
100%. So we didn't put a huge social impact kind of banner on it, but again, there was the happy hours that were hosted at Beyond that we intentionally hooked up the power group, the Pax8 Women Resource ERG, and hosted the Women in Technology happy hour for our partners. And so that group was active in that room, helped recruit and help push partners and awareness to that room and to that happy hour to be able to talk about, again, just sense of community and the things that we all find in our own realities and living in these identifier type groups. And so I think you're going to continue to see that. And we're also working with the channel team to, not only, again, women focus, but also people of color focus with Hugh and getting them active and getting Black channel partners, that nonprofit group, together to be able to host events and, again, bring the ecosystem together to talk about unique challenges and how do we innovate for impact to, again, not just impact us as Pax8, but impact everybody in our ecosystem to give more community-based opportunities like this.
I love it. And I mean, our Pax8 partners are the first ones to jump in and say, like, how do I get involved? What can I do? So I had to hit on that. I like the pre-leaks on the show, Lyndsey. So sorry to throw it at you, but I had to.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to apologize. I love it.
I love it.
So the ERGs is a part of your role. And I mean, it's an investment from Pax8 that they're showing, hey, you know what? We really want to move forward in this area. We want to support the community. We want to support our employees. There's a lot that goes into it. So what else is in your role besides just our employee resource groups?
So not only in the inclusive workplace side is the employee resource groups, but there's also a heavy focus on just all up DEIB, so diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. So we also are focusing on training, enablement, building allyship, and understanding and educating others on how to become allies in areas that maybe you don't personally identify for, but you want to support from a DEI impact initiative. And so those are a lot of the strategies that are happening on the back end that you'll see coming out. And then we're also a lot of corporate social responsibility and our ESG, the environmentalism, sustainability, and governance. We're heavily focusing on auditing our business for compliance, for governance and equity for all around the globe to make sure that our policies and the way that our business is built is it's built for purpose. And it's built all the way down through supply chain and our impact on the earth. I mean, you think about events and partners coming out and, getting to come to things like Beyond and boot camps and all these amazing events that are in person. That's an impact on the planet. So we're also looking at how do we integrate social impact into every aspect of the business and really make it that fascia, the connective tissue to everything in the way that we make decisions and impact our strategy moving forward.
I love it. And I think you hit on something that's so important, and it's the allyship. And there's always other people that can help amplify a message. So, I mean, something that really hit on me was Steve Brooks. He was part of Bamboom, now is part of Pax8. And we were at the Dynamics event, and this is Women in Dynamics. And he was talking about how to be a proper ally. And like everything he said to me, it just like hit home. And he's like, I'm not going to know it all, but I am here and I'm willing to learn. So I love hearing that other people are bringing it up. But I want to talk about EverFree because this is a huge initiative. It's not the first time we talked about it. I know we talked about it at Beyond. We have a small clip. I want to roll that real quick.
So EverFree is a nonprofit that's focused on supporting human trafficking survivors. I learned about EverFree at a Women of the Channel event, and very early on I understood, that EverFree's mission and their values were very aligned to Pax8 and our values, as well as they're globally expanding in the same way that we're globally expanding here at Pax8. I was expecting everything that I didn't see going into this trip. I think I had this aspect of, feeling as if these women needed to be saved, that there was going to be so much hardship, and not necessarily that it wasn't going to be tough, but that toughness was going to be a different lens than what I actually experienced. I've got to feel and see what hope really looks like. That's really all they have left, is that layer of hope, to be able to bring them together and to fight for an issue together as a community, and to know that they're not alone. There was this sense of connectivity. There were groups that were, trying to get TikTok dances down together as a group. There were groups that, ran into children that had the availability to play in the streets with these kids. And again, I think uniquely we all had the experience that we needed to have that moment in time, but also uniquely the one that met us where we were in this experience. And I think universally we all left with this knowing that we're all connected and that we all have this ability to, again, step out of our comfort zones and see a little bit of ourselves in these other communities, and how do we take that little bit of privilege to be able to give someone else the platform, or put an arm out to just say, hi, I am so-and-so, and it's great to meet you.
Yeah, ladies!
And this, again, being able to meet people where they are and to find a sense of shared humanity. I think our shared values between Pax8 and EverFree is that we're really about taking on and disrupting the market where others may not be brave enough to take on challenging issues that aren't the easy things to talk about. In Pax8, our full culture has always been to be a disruptor and to take on the things that others don't have the same bravery or the know-how or the platform and the privilege to be able to support those types of issues.
We were lucky enough to grab you at Beyond. We grabbed Kelsey, and tell me her role at EverFree.
Yeah, so Kelsey's one of the co-founders, and she's also their chief program officer. So she runs all of the global programs for EverFree, and is just absolutely amazing.
Oh, okay. So I've got a bunch of questions that are all rushing. The ADHD is taking over.
Yeah.
I want to start with the bracelets because I have mine, and she's got hers too. So tell me a little bit about the bracelets and what they go to.
Yeah. So EverFree sells and fundraises these bracelets at a ton of different events. They are called Warrior bracelets, which I absolutely love. And so 100% proceeds of these bracelets go directly back to EverFree. So we had a fundraising booth set up at Beyond and sold out almost, I would say, like almost 6 hours before the second day was over. I mean, we were on day 2 live recap and still had another, 5-6 hours left of booth time and event time and closing parties and all of the things, and there was nothing left. I mean, the amount of support that came from the Pax8 community and ecosystem was just heartwarming. I mean, I know and love everybody that lives in this ecosystem, and I've seen it for myself in some of the work that we've done in prior initiatives, but I think it really was just something very special to watch it come to life in a 48-hour period at Beyond.
Could not agree more. I went up because I was like, man, I need to go get a second one. And they're like, oh, we have extra small. And I was like, I think I have chunky wrists. maybe I'll wait to get another one.
Yeah, chunky wrists,
Yeah,
not cankles.
Yeah, I don't
chunky
know.
Wrists.
Maybe that was it. That was fine. I'll own the chunky wrists. Okay, so Kelsey does such a good job in explaining it, and I mean, human trafficking, that's a heavy subject, Lyndsey. I mean, being able to, one, it's kind of that topic that nobody really wants to talk about. So how did I was there, but I want you to kind of go through the story. How did we get linked up with EverFree? Because I think that just how it's all come together has been a beautiful story.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. So it's been a year now that we've been talking with EverFree. We met them at a Women of a Channel event, you and I together. You actually ran up to Kelsey and said, I have a friend. I was just now in
I have a friend. Come meet her.
I have
right
a friend.
now,
Come on. Yeah. We've got to have this amazing relationship. And so Kelsey and us just really got to know each other at that event. And during that time, we quickly identified that they were going through global mergers. They were globally expanding as well, but also their missions and values and the way that they build and scale programs is very, very aligned to the same way that Pax8 does in this ecosystem of community. It's built with the people, for the people, and continues to have that, change management effect too, of like listening and taking back that feedback to continue to scale and grow. And so, just kind of conversationally, we started kicking off some crazy ideas about this partnership, but we didn't have a lot of funding when we first started. We were a brand new department, a small but mighty team of one for a little bit while I was in the corporate social responsibility role before moving into VP of Social Impact. And during that transition, I really challenged myself, the team, and Pax8 globally to say, all of our executives, we've got to choose a corporate social responsibility partner and a partner for beyond as well, but an issue that is global, but also something that we all agree on, which honestly is you think it's a super easy thing to to say, we all agree on all these things. No, we don't. Globally. No. And culturally around the planet. I mean, we're in so many different countries. There's so many different perspectives of what's important to those people. Human trafficking is the one thing globally that we all agree should not be happening. That we all agreed that our industry, that the tech industry is helping. We need to lean in and help in this space because it's enabling those that are exploiting and continuing to recruit those into this modern day slavery, into a trafficking environment, and exploiting them either physically or sexually, and physically or even cyber, online. There's been a huge catapulted growth, 1,200% growth in human trafficking since the internet has launched. So, and when we think about how people are sourced in human trafficking situations, 2 out of 3 of those are sourced from some type of social media platform. And out of that 2 out of 3, 1 out of 4 of those are children. So when we think about being a part of the solution, that was really a lot of our foundational decision making when we were talking to EverFree was, it's global, but we also have this opportunity to impact the second largest issue on the planet. And the first one's cybersecurity. And that's just absolute built into the business, right? So tackling these issues together.
Look, we're just going to blow past the 30-minute allotment of this show, and we're just going to keep on going because I've got a couple more questions and I can't let you leave yet, okay? So
I love it.
The trip, we saw some little highlights. I think that we've got some photos that we can pull up, but I want you to just kind of talk to us about what was that trip like for you and these others that went, because I can only imagine just how that was mentally, just to be over there and see them and getting to interact with these survivors.
Yeah, it was life-changing. I will forever be a different person. I think every person that was on the trip with us, we had 6 Pax8ers travel out to the streets of Cebu. And we had the opportunity to not only do some outreach with those that are currently being exploited and currently in this modern day slavery environment, but we also had the opportunity to meet with the EverFree, what they call CAB, their Client Advisory Board, which consists of survivors themselves that are now in full freedom. And now they're giving back and dedicating and donating their time to help support solutions for those EverFree programs and for, those that are, seeking freedom and seeking survivorship. And so we had that opportunity. And then we also spent 2 days of training, which was absolutely awesome. I got to put my Microsoft hat back on and, the good old days back when
the accessibility tools.
Memory down, trip down memory lane for the two of us is like all of these training opportunities that we had at Microsoft, that skill base. And then same here at Pax8, having the opportunity to teach others on how to use Outlook and how to use the productivity and accessibility tools to cater your experience to be the best for you was something I got to do. We also taught things like study habits and how to set goals, for those that are going through college. And so we had, again, multi-series of different types of workshops and different impacts in those workshops and who we were speaking to. So everyone from the EverFree staff that's local there in their PTI offices in Cebu, down to those that are currently seeking freedom, and those that are just now getting enrolled in EverFree programs, and then also the opportunity to be a part of their scholar assembly. That was our final night. We got to see survivors that are fully moving into freedom, watch them walk the stage and tell their story. And I had the ability to tell the keynote there. And let me tell you,
all of the feels. All of the
I cried the whole trip.
Lyndsey.
The whole trip I cried, but it is one of those things of there's shared community there. And this is a global impact issue is the one thing that we came home with. This is not just centrally located to a handful of countries around the world. We all are contributing to this, and we all have to contribute to the solution.
Oh, I love it. 100% on board. I think EverFree is just such an incredible organization. Since we've already blown past the 30 minutes, I'm going to ask Willis in the back if we can play the clip from Beyond where we actually had Kelsey and she was talking about the impact that we were making. Do we have that one available? Maybe. Wait, we're going to get it. Not that one. We want the other one. This is what I get for calling an audible, isn't it? Oh,
it's okay. This is just the inside of our brains.
I know. I'm like, no, wait, go here. Bam. This is the ADHD. This is why we need Pax8 ability, man.
You're welcome, y'all. You're welcome.
All right. I think we got it.
So we are an organization that's working to end human trafficking. 50 million people are living in exploitation and situations of modern-day slavery at any given moment in time. It's an overwhelming issue, $150 billion industry, and EverFree is looking to disrupt that industry, working to end trafficking and provide survivors of this atrocious crime the support and the empowerment that they need to heal and rebuild their lives.
I bought my EverFree bracelet almost a year ago to this month. And so we met Kelsey at a Women of the Channel event and quickly identified the shared mission, shared values, and global expansion. And so I think, very early on in that stage of conversation, we realized that we can really impact something that technology is helping scale in a negative way. How do we now offset that with solutions together and come together in the Pax8 form and fashion of true disruption?
All right. Just a lot of stuff going on at Beyond. So I want to make sure that everybody goes back. I want them to watch day 1, watch day 2. Specifically, me, you, Kelsey, we're on day 2. A lot of good stuff from that. So, Lyndsey, if we close out the show, is there anything that anybody watching that you want to nominate and say, hey, if this is the one thing that you can do to either get involved, make an impact, what is that?
Great question. So I think there's a couple of different things that we're working on. So we talked about in that day 2 recap, go back and watch that. Also, I recommend that people continue to watch all of the Pax8 live shows. There's going to be some opportunity to do some pro bono work if you're interested or you have, talent, time, and resources that you would like to donate to support EverFree. We're in the process of collecting those coming out of Beyond as well. We've had a ton of partners come forward, a ton of vendors come forward to say, I want to help, I want to be a part of this mission and impact. So there'll be things, that we're going to be working on for their Freedom Greenlight app, which is a new technology SaaS product for them to be able to connect their survivors and their programs globally and to scale new programs and have some data back end. So I recommend, reach out. Social impact at pax8.com. We're happy to start getting on the phones with people and sourcing things that partners in our ecosystem would like to support in the space. And then also check out the Pax8 social impact landing page. There's some connection of what's going on with EverFree and the work that we're doing in all of this space and more information about our department and how you can get involved. And then I'd say continue to watch Pax8 live because there's going to be more and more moments like this across the entire ecosystem of these live shows to continue to echo all of the ways that people can get involved.
I love it. Lyndsey, thanks so much for coming. I see this one in the chat from Jake. This is maybe the most Kristen and Hoffmania style conversation I've seen in a while. I couldn't agree more. I know we get excited, but thank you so much for being here. I know you'll come back soon because I know you guys are doing some amazing work. So thank you for that. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining Technically Unraveled this week. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all of those great things because you don't want to miss next week with Kayla Blackie. We're going to talk about our ISCs, what kind of business planning they're doing, all kinds of great stuff. You don't want to miss that. If you're still around, make sure you hang on for just a minute because we've got a really cool Beyond video I want to make sure we are sharing with you. We'll see you next time.
Welcome to Beyond. We're delighted to have you here. This is Pax8's first inaugural conference.
Thank you for making the trip out here to Denver, Colorado. We have a jam-packed agenda. We got tons of content for you, tons of fun for you.
It's been a long time in the making, an incredible journey for us all. I'm excited because we've been working on this for 4 years. We face challenges together, but this is celebrating what we achieved in this room together.
We have 2 days jam-packed full of content. We have 40+ sessions across tracks. There are 5 keynotes. We're also going to have partner and vendor awards. And the real magic of events like these, of course, is the networking.
What I'm looking most forward to at Beyond is meeting our partners. I work a lot with our vendor partnerships, and I don't get out in the community as much to meet a lot of our amazing partners.
Women in Tech!
The Women in Tech Happy Hour really bring all of our women and bring us all together to show that we have a voice in tech.
I think it's a very tight-knit community that everybody's here to learn. So I'm very excited for all the things the program has to offer and the opportunity our boss gave us to come out here and try this out as well.
Welcome to day 2 of Beyond. We are super excited for today.
So many partners coming up saying, this has been an amazing inaugural event.
This is the innovation day. This is where we show you the future. You guys want to see the future? Yeah.
We spent a lot of time over the last 2 years really listening and learning, hearing what you had to say about what you're struggling with and where you're having challenges.
Our hyper growth is simply a reflection of your growth, and it doesn't look like it's going to slow down anytime soon.
Man, this is a celebration of our community, and thank you for showing up. Thank you for showing the love. Woo!